So Molly and I are going to go and do a bulb video diary supplement looking at the Erythroniums, aren't we, Molly? You've got to come and look at the Erythroniums. So we'll start in the frames down here, where we've got them growing in mesh plunge baskets. And this is a basket here of one of the forms of Erythronium sibericum, or the Erythronium sibericum complex, I'll call it at the moment, because I'm still not sure in the new taxa of what they all are. But I'm really fond of this plant, and we've been increasing it, getting garden seed and growing baskets and baskets of seed, and now establishing it out in the garden as well. So this is one of the original seed baskets raised from introduced seed, and I'll keep this in a basket as a good reference, as part of the reference collection. As we move along, you'll see there's another basket of another variation there. As we turn round to the other frame, this is all next to the troughs and the raised beds and the slab beds. Here's another one in this plunge. It's mostly the North American Erythroniums we're seeing just now. So as we come down, the first one, Erythronium californicum, a form there with a good dark leaf. Erythronium revolutums, another creamy white californicum, and then if I move down here, we can see Erythronium grandiflorum, the yellow pollen form and the reddy brown pollen form. Further along you'll pick up there's more Erythronium sibericums. But it's just the pleasure of coming out and seeing them, enjoying them for the period while they're out in flower. Erythronium revolutum. If I move round, we've got Erythronium hendersoni. It's another real nice one. And again, from seed they'll cut flower at different times, so some of the first hendersoni to come out have gone over. These ones flower a wee bit later. It's a really good one and a good mature stem. You can have 3 flowers to a stem. Some might just have a single flower, but when they're growing well and they're good big bulbs, they'll produce 3 to a stem. And they've got these lovely coloured flowers. They really are a good one to get. Another frame there full of pots, some from various stages of seedlings and various forms. Most of those will get planted out this year. Another frame full of plunge baskets. Some of my selections. So we've got a couple of selections of revolutum hybrids that I was having up to trial. Also in here we've got pots of Trillium rivale seedlings. So we get different variations on Trillium rivale. Another pot of seedlings here. Again, these are all big enough if I want to plant these out. This is a pot in here of Erythronium sibericum seedlings, and most of these, this is the first year of flowering. So that basket will go out, and there's another one in here. They're both ready to get planted out as well, as I continue to establish more and more of it growing in the garden beds. This is Erythronium Erin, sister seedling to Erythronium Susanna. They're very similar, they're both excellent plants. Erin's just a wee bit paler, while Susanna's a bit more yellow. They are of course hybrids of Erythronium tuluminense. Probably with something like Oregonum or something, perhaps. Pink Erythronium revolutum. Then next to that, Creighton cover girl. Another lot of tuluminense coming up. And over in the back here, a dark form of revolutum. And you can see how they're escaping out. Out of the frame into the rock garden. They've self-seeded out of the frames. So as we come along, there's more Creighton cover girl. But it's just as the garden is wakening up. There's so much growth appearing. It doesn't seem like many weeks ago all we could see was ground with a few shoots poking through, and now it's as I like it, we can't see the ground at all. There's just growth everywhere. The Fritillaria imperialis. Come round to across the rock garden. In the bed of lots of dicentras. Dicentra cucularia. Nice foliage. And most of this is hybrid dicentra between Formosana and nivalis, so a wide range. Dark flowers and finer foliage. And that's great, it works well with other plants. There's leucodium leaves coming through. You'll see in the back there's trilliums. Perfectly happy to come up through the dicentra. Across there I can see lilies pushing through. More trilliums. More lilies pushing up through. Mandragora. Giant leaves of a mandragora. Climbing out from the end here. Trillium albidum. More trilliums appearing up through here. Lots of different trilliums, there's fritillarias. They're all perfectly happy coming through this undergrowth of lower. So we've got the sort of fresher green of Corydalis. That'll all disappear shortly. And then the bluish green of the Dicentra cucularia. All the trilliums poking up through. Groups of Erythroniums. All allowed to seed around, and even as the trilliums and seedlings escaping out into the path. Here you can see Dicentra seedlings also appearing in the path. Round to the cardamom. As we just spin and look back and around the beds. And we'll head off this way now towards the pond and the new bed up by the pond. all these Erythroniums have seeded themselves here. They're actually on the edge of the path, the gravel between the slabs and the edge of the bed. So we'll go up and through the gate, up to the new bed, where it's exciting to see what's coming up. Lots of the plantings I made last year and the year before really establishing a bit now. So these are Trillium hibersoni, Trillium rivale, Erythronium sibericum, different corydalus, the Narcissus cyclaminius starting to go over. We come around here, the lovely wee Trillium hibersoni. And round here, some more Trillium rivale. And then down in here, this beautiful little Erythronium from Mount Prevost on Vancouver Island. It's close to grandiflorum, but in my view is something quite other. I think this could be described as a new species possibly. It's certainly a very strong subspecies of grandiflorum, but I think it's lovely. So that with a few little ones that I planted out there, the first ones I got and received, but I have a nice big pot of seedlings in their second year now. So we'll get more of that into the garden soon. Up here more of the Erythronium sibericum. Here we have a seed pod forming of Erythronium caucasicum that flowered earlier on. More sibericum there, other different of the smaller trilliums. And here we have this is a Erythronium hendersoni hybrid called Ardovi Bliss. Really pretty one. Found in a garden in Scotland. It's not widely spread yet, but we've got a nice wee group there going. There's so many seed leaves, as you can see, coming up, so that this bed will soon become more and more established. We'll come round the path to the bed at the south side of the garden with the Erythronium revolutums. All over, this is Erythronium creating cover girl. Beside it, and back and down, some more of the revolutums that we just let self-seed up here. This whole area has just been allowed to naturalise. So there's trilliums, there's different Erythroniums, all self-seeding. The ferns. And the bare areas beyond where we've cut back the shrubs and the rhododendrons to expose the ground again and recover the planting area underneath once more, which we're just starting to build up and replant. So this entire end of the wall will be where I'll bring more of the Trillium rivales and the Erythronium sibericums down from the frame. In the summer we'll plant them out round here and get this end of the wall established like we've got the higher end up here. but it's just more the same. Trillium rivale, Trillium Kurubayashi, various Erythroniums, self-seeding themselves. Rhododendron, Dendrocharis. Really nice deep dwarf rhododendron. Let's see around here, if we come to the back edge of the new bed, another group of Trillium rivale seedlings. So some quite pale, some with a bit of pink, some more pink, and quite speckled. Quite a range. And the same continues all the way up through there. Some more Sibericums, more Trilliums, this Fritillarias. Mechanopsis, of course, seed themselves everywhere, so they're making themselves at home in that bed as well. We come back round here, the Jeffersonia dubia, so a nice darker flowered form. And over here we've got a slightly paler, more rosy pink flowered form. And it's interesting because last year and previous years these usually flower well ahead of the leaves appearing, but now this year the leaves and the flowers are more or less growing at the same time, which just shows you the no two seasons are alike. The seasons come around, but no two are alike. Here's, just see in here, this is Jeffersonia diphylla, the twin-leafed one, so a different type of Jeffersonia. Down the front here's Erythronium americanum, the Craigston flower. It's one of our own selections. As we move round and along, more little treasures, Anemonella. I see Cornus suecica just coming out down here. Here's more fat seed pods here of Erythronium caucasicum. Very welcome sight. Growing from seed and allowing plants to self-seed is really good. More Trillium Hibbersoni. Self-sown seedlings down here. Just germinating ones. Up here, slightly older seed leaves. As we establish a wee colony of them here. And with the rhododendrons, it's a step down the steps. The bed here with the pine, and this face that again we raised the pine and opened up the face of this wall, and my whole plan was to try and mimic a scene I had seen in southern Oregon where a rocky wooded riverbank was populated by Trillium Hibbersoni, Trillium rivale, sorry. And this is my attempt to recreate that memory and that scene in the garden. So we're starting to establish them now. You can see the groups, and they all kept coming. I started by planting this pot of seedlings out, and by planting a pot of seedlings, multiple clones, that gives you the best chance of getting good seed set, and then letting the seed sow itself around, sometimes scattering it to help. So I've been scattering it down the face of the wall, and here's one of the first ones to grow up and reach flowering size. Has got its own babies lying in front of it, and this is exactly what I was aiming to achieve. Further around the wall we've got the primulas, marginatas, different forms of marginata. You hear the bees buzzing. More trilliums, Rivali. And the cascading down the wall. There's seedlings of Erythronium seedling leaves there as well. And Rivali is going all the way up the crack in the wall in a very naturalistic sort of way. Up here, got the beautiful pink flowers of Rhododendron cephalanthum. And this wee rhododendron was covered in beautiful pink flowers until 2 nights ago we got hit by a frost, and it's turned them, you can see what it's done, it's just turned them into tea bags. More Trillium Rivali with Trillium Kurubayashi. And then round the bed that we cleared the shrubs from and are starting to plant up. This will soon merge in and the brown areas will disappear as we'll get carpets of bulbs, Erythroniums, Trilliums and other bulbs coming right across down here as well. And later flowering Corydalis. And all around here you can see the Erythronium seedlings of all ages, so just seed leaves just germinating all the way up. And this happens all over. I'm standing on the path here, edge of a slab, and you have to step carefully from slab to slab because all around the slabs the Erythroniums have seeded. This bit was only been planted in the last couple of years with a lot of different forms of the bigger Corydalis, and that's going to be mimicked all the way around here, so we get more and more Trillium deep in here in this area that was just totally shaded out under some of the shrubs and rhododendrons. So plenty Erythronium revolutums out just now. Another area where they're cascading down the face of a wall, seeding themselves in between all the cracks. Every crack between the wall has got Erythroniums and other plants in it. Not just Erythroniums, so there are others there as well. There's a nice one there with, it's almost got a bicoloured effect on the back of the flower. And there's leaves of Erythronium japonicum and the flower buds of Erythronium japonicum. All the way up the path here, we have to walk carefully from slab to slab because in between all the slabs we've got a mass of Erythroniums. There's Trilliums seeded themselves in here. Hepaticas seeded in. Lots of Trillium grandiflorums coming out. In the back in there you can see lots of Trillium grandiflorum. They really don't mind being tucked right in the back in the shade. They're quite happy in there. All these Erythroniums, all those, all self-seeded. Hello Molly. Is you helping? You're a good girl. And then round to this bed, this is Erythronium Creighton cover girl. Just got nice palish pink flowers and sort of silvery patterned leaves. When the leaves first come through there is some brown, purpley brown in them, but they're not intensely purpley brown. And if you just compare those to this one, this is the one that I featured on the cover of the bulb log this week. Intensely dark flowers, really dark flowering stems, and the leaves are really dark patterned. As with all erythronium leaves, the dark pattern fades a bit as it ages, so these, when they first came through, they were even more intensely dark and contrasting than that. So that's the two together. I think they both stand up. They're as good as each other. So I just now have to see if I can increase this one enough and get it really starting to be increased enough to get it out and about. So we can just have a pan round. I see more of the rhododendrons there have been damaged with the frosts. It's inevitable when you live in a colder, cooler climate and a variable climate that we can go get warm weather and then back to frosts and cold. Fortunately the erythroniums don't get damaged by it. Around the side of the path here, all the way, all these erythroniums, all volunteers. None of them were planted, they were all self-seeded. There's another group of Trillium rivale, a nice purpley form. And that stump there was where a bush, one of our shrubs of vaccinium, actually got blown off in the wind. The wind destroyed it. One of the gales we had, it just broke the stem off. So that's basically, we'll just come and look back across some of the erythroniums, and that's a walk around looking at some of the erythroniums that are out at the moment in the garden, with lots more to come in the coming weeks. So thanks for being with me. I'll see you next time.